Okay, are we on now?
We've been going for a while.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Performance Check. My name is Rob. I have had the very surreal and very wonderful pleasure of returning to Coventry University. This is where I studied theatre back in the long, dark age, far away in the mists of the past. I've been asked back by one of my former lecturers to present a D&D game, a D&D experience for the cast of She Kills Monsters. The second years of Coventry University Theatre are presenting this play. They're putting this production on, and it's a fantastic tale about the protagonist, Agnes, who learns more about her deceased sister by running and playing the D&D module she had written just before she died. And it's a really fantastic, really emotional story. And the reason I've been brought in is because, one, I get to give the cast like an inside scoop of what it's like to be involved in a D&D game. Some of them have already played, some of them are brand new to the experience, so they can really understand what the game is like and what the appeal is. And why it appeals to so many people. That people write plays about it. We're going to talk to some of the cast. We're going to talk to the director, and we're going to include bits and bobs about what we've been doing throughout the day, including parts of the game. I wrote and will run a specially written 5th edition adventure to explore the themes of the play. Intrepid band of adventurers, you find yourselves huddled together on a deserted ice plain. You have been journeying for a number of days and your supplies are beginning to dwindle.
I am Emily. Okay, Emily Mills, and I play Agnes the Asshatted in She Kills Monsters. So I'm playing as Agnes in the play, but I'm also Agnes in D&D at the moment.
My name's Millie, and I'm playing Tilius the Paladin in both the D&D game and in the show.
Full name, okay. My name's Killian Hall O'Brien, and I am playing Chuck, who is the DM of the game.
My name is Aidan. In the play and both in D&D, my character's name is Calliope, who is a dark elf / drow, and when I play D&D, they are a level 2 currently rogue.
Hi, my name is Isam Hussein. My character name is Miles, and my character name in the Dungeons and Dragons game is called Smiles.
Hello, I'm Saffron. My character is called Farah. I'm playing a halfling in the game, and they are a sorcerer. In the play, I'm playing a fairy.
My actual birth name is John Ockenden, and in the play, I play the character of Steve the Mage, / Steven in the real world. And in D&D, I am currently playing a character called Victor Constantine, who has no relation to the play whatsoever.
I'm Katie, my character's name is Vera, and what was the other one? Bard. Level 2 Bard.
My name's Adam Alias, and my name in the play is Orcus. My name in the game was originally Orcus, but he died, so I came back as his brother Dorcas.
I'm Kieran Stewart. I am the wardrobe props technician working on our current project, which is She Kills Monsters.
I'm Tom Gorman. I'm the course director for acting for stage and screen, but kind of more importantly related to this, I'm the director of, well, one of the directors of She Kills Monsters.
How have you found your experience playing D&D so far?
Well, I died, but I didn't die. So, to be honest, every single day I'm petrified that I'm going to die. That's the one thing I don't want to do. I'm loving it. I really enjoy it. I'm finding all of like the what's it called? The characterization of all the characters when the DMs do them really fun. Yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
You see part of what's left of his nose get shattered off, like as you just bring the rim of the shield into him.
Well, I used to play D&D quite a few years ago. I haven't played it for a few years now. But coming back to it, I realised how much I forgot. But I'm happy playing the game. I think it was awesome. It's been great so far.
Baden, the keeper, looks upon you and says,
"My son.
Are you quite... I am your father!
No, that's impossible!
Are you quite alright? You seem a little disturbed.
At first I realised it was something that I was very distant from, as I've never been about playing games that are maybe on board games and stuff. I feel like it's took a bit of a while for me to kind of nurture myself into liking this. As of now, I feel like I actually have enjoyed it, but when I found out about D&D, I was a bit uncomfortable with doing something that I never really do.
Who got higher than 15?
I got 15.
I've had so much fun, honestly. It really lets you feel like a kid again, and it just gets all the creative gears in your brain running. I found it really useful for the play as well. I've played it a little bit before because one of my friends acts as a dungeon master, but this is a lot more official than I've ever done it before. So I really like the fact that we basically roll for everything. So a lot of it is chance based, and I like that aspect of it.
It's enjoyable. It's fun. I like it. Time's confusing.
It's a long story, really. So we did a D&D game about a month ago, the first one we did for research and development. Mike, the DM, put me by the window, knowing full well that he was going to have kobolds and bugbears and stuff come jumping in. And I died before I even got to do an action. So that was the first death of Steve. And in the next game, we had Stephen, the mage, appear, and he was like the new Steve. And he was doing quite well, and then he died to a big skeletal minotaur-looking thing with an axe. So I just said, sod it. I'm bringing in a different character who's not a mage.
So to be clear, your second character was, you just added an N to his name.
Yeah, we just called him Stephen.
Fair.
Oh, wonderful. Like, it wasn't something originally that I'd think I'd enjoy. Never hearing about it and never knowing what it was about, it was a bit new to me, and I was a bit skeptical going into it, going, I might not enjoy this. And I asked a few people that had played it in our class, and they said good things about it. So I was like, I went in with an open mind. I was like, I'll experiment. He was like, and we played the first game, and after that, I was like, yes, I just want to carry on playing.
It's so fun. Honestly, I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into it, but it is so much fun, and it's so nice to like kind of escape reality and just get so invested in this story and adventure and see all these different characters and monsters.
The only experience with D&D has been watching films. Very disappointing films, I might add, apart from the latest. Never played it, always wanted to, but never had the opportunity until now. And now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But it's great. It's great fun.
Because I'm very old, I played Dungeons and Dragons in the very late 80s when I was at school. I played D&D at school twice, and I hated it. It wasn't for me at all. And I now that I know what I know, I think it was just more, I'd quite fancied having a girlfriend. At that point, one that was not cool to be into fantasy. It was not cool to be into comics even. I was a big comic reader. Also, I just think the guys who were doing the DMs were quite bad at it. And I just remember like 2 afternoons sitting in guys' bedrooms with them getting increasingly angry with each other over dice and thinking, this is not really for me. Since choosing to do this play, I've been spending months going down a deep rabbit hole of D&D-ness. Now I see the appeal.
Nat 20!
Nat 20! Just creating something from the roll of a dice and numbers. It's pure theatre. It really is. It's theatre of the mind. It's just bloody amazing.
Dorcas, you stand alone in front of this portal. Dead hands reaching out to you saying, please reclaim what is yours. We just want to get your opinion on the play and the themes and ideas that it addresses.
So I think it's very good in tackling issues like loss, especially that. It's like coming out of the closet, things like friendship, family. But the play mainly centres around grief and how to channel that and how to deal with that. And we follow Agnes's journey with her younger sister who she loses. I think it really highlights the fact that, to be honest, I think it speaks out that you should find help if you're going through anything like that, and how helpful it can be to be surrounded by friends, because it's the whole point of the play. At the end of the day, they all go around and they all play Dungeons and Dragons together and they have a good time. So it's like, keep your friends close because they'll be your lifeline.
It's about this funny little fantasy world, but then has a really heartfelt meaning to it.
I think the play is very good. I remember reading it before it was all cast, and it just it really connects with you, even if you don't necessarily relate to some of the things, especially because it's like, oh, if you were ever an outcast, it's kind of like the whole outcast grouping together, and how it's like, just because you have an idea of someone doesn't mean that's who they are, kind of thing. And it's really good.
I am indeed a proud parent, and my daughter has done well. And it's only then that you feel the knife slide between your ribs behind you as Lilith immediately betrays you. Just as Margot said she would.
I was waiting for it.
I really related to Tilly, honestly. I didn't, even when I first read it and before we had auditioned for anything, I found myself drawn to that sort of aspect of Tilly that's sort of the outsider who's trying to like make her way into the world, and she finds these coping mechanisms through D&D and things like that, and I found myself sort of relating to that side of her.
I feel like people will have a preconceived notion about the play that it's just for people that like D&D, but it's not. I really think it's a play about loss, it's about family, it's about being LGBT, and it's just about not knowing where you really fit in the world. And I think it's a play for everyone, not just D&D nerds.
There's a lot of guilt in the play and grief that hasn't been looked at. Like Agnes is, grieving the loss of her sister, who she didn't know, to then be sort of like welcomed into this world that her sister was involved with, and actually realising, no, I didn't know her. She's discovered her sister was cool by being herself, but not being able to be herself with her. So it's bittersweet. It's just lovely.
And from the mirrored reflections, you see a ghastly form rising through the reflections. You can't even see which part of the corridor it's in. You see what is unmistakably a beholder.
So obviously, she equals monsters. Monsters. I'm a huge fantasy, sci-fi geek. I love cosplaying and armour, so to me this was just like, fuck yeah. Exploitive, yeah. The one thing that's come out of this is I don't believe we've done a show that everyone has been so determined to just get right. And, I hope that I can do my part to actually, bring something special to it that hasn't been seen before in regards to the costumes and the armour and the weaponry, because there's tons of resource out there, and also it's the first time it's been done in the UK, which is another little bit of pressure when it came to designing Orcus's costume, who is a prince demon of hell, who is described as a huge red demon who's a slob. And making clay head sculpts of bugbears, which are neither bugs nor bears. See? Getting there. Calliope, a dark elf, working on that over this week, hopefully, if I have the time, which I'll make the time. Green velvets and copper. I'm not touching Tilly's armour because Tom wants it shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Make it shiny, which is where the fundraising comes in, because we're going to have to buy certain chrome chemicals and paints to hopefully make it a mirror finish, which is a challenge, but it's stuff that we like to do here. We love to use new techniques, new ways of doing things. The armour all has to be flexible as well, so it's got to be made from rubber. What else? Who else? Lots. There's lots.
I think it's very different now. I mean, I think one of the things the play is set in 1990s, and it is about being like a closeted geek, and I don't want to give too much away about the plot as well, but it is about that time. It even says at the very beginning, at the time before, World of Warcraft, social media, a time before Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things made D&D kind of cool again to a certain extent. But one of the things the play is it's deliberately set in the 90s because it is in that period when this is not kind of common currency, where people don't know about this world. It is a very niche, closed off world. I think it's a great play. I think it's a really, really unusual play. It's why I chose it. Because every year, like, we have the entire history of theatre to choose from to do with our students. We can do everything from something written in ancient Greece to something written last week. And we're always trying to find stories that our audience haven't really seen before. And this play's been performed all over America, sometimes to great acclaim, sometimes really controversially, not because of its content, but because just some states in America are a little bit weird. I think it's a really funny play. I mean, the D&D in it is great. I mean, it's a love song to all things nerdy, geeky. It's a really, really human story at its heart. It's a really sweet play with a really kind of sweet message underneath all the monster murdering that goes on in it. There's a lot of monster murdering. Some of it's quite rude. Some of it's really silly. It's funny without taking the piss. It started way back in May with, can we even do a play of this scale? Because it's huge. It's probably production-wise the biggest show we've done here. Because it's called She Kills Monsters, and you'd be a bit disappointed if you went to see a play called She Kills Monsters and she did not kill quite a large variety of monsters. And then there was also me having to basically get into the world of D&D. So me having to learn the rules, play D&D. And then, of course, the students then had to become enmeshed in D&D, because one of the things we've been really careful about is, like, being a nerd myself, although being a kind of comic book sci-fi film nerd, I hate it when people get things wrong. And we wanted to get this one right. So we wanted to make sure that if you're a D&D player and you come to see this, we've got it right. You know, we've got stuff that's going to be deep cuts for you as a fan. So we've got stuff that you're going to go, yeah, that's right. So there's been a lot of nitpicking. There's been a lot of fine-tuning, even in the script. Sometimes there are the odd inaccuracy that we have fact-checked, and sorry, playwright, we may have altered just the odd line occasionally here and there. And of course, just research into the monsters and the armor and what characters can do and what can't do. And of course, the actors are mostly playing the class they would play in the script as well. So just that whole process of, it's been a really intensive unusually intensive research process, even though our research process has been basically playing a really fun game.
He rolls lower than a 10 on either of these, then he falls back into those grasping hands.
Come on.
So he needs to roll low. If he gets lower than a 10 on either of these,
So 10 or lower or a 9 or lower?
let us all dwell on that positive energy that we have thought of. Everything that you've loved, everything that you've fought for, lower than a 10. D&D, you can actually explore elements about yourself, about your personality.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's the whole thing of, you make this character, you put like your heart and soul into this character, and you put them through these things, and it really has you thinking about, what would you do in this situation? How does that reflect on your character? And yeah, I think some of it can be escapism, but a lot of it is coping with things that maybe you've dealt with before. And for Tilly in the play as well, she copes with her bullying, she copes with her sexuality, she copes with all these things through D&D, and I think that holds to real life as well.
Definitely, because you can bring your own traits from your personal life into your character and use things that you would do yourself, not necessarily as the character, but things you do in your real life, and the way you'd think in real life compared to the way the character would think. And I think definitely is a way of escape as well, but a way to express yourself, but not as yourself, through the character.
Bit like acting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
For sure.
I think D&D just helps people kind of let loose and use their imagination instead of doing boring things.
I think it's both, because it's nice to escape into a character that you sometimes might have no connection to, but you can explore different emotions and completely different stories, which is kind of the same with acting.
Maybe a bit of both, because I feel like D&D is a great comfort in the sense that, you can make loads of friends, you can have loads of fun, but it's also distracting from the real world because obviously it's a fantasy game. It's kind of like anything really, like a film or a show or anything, but D&D is a lot more immersive, so I'd say it's a lot funner than all other kinds of media.
Definitely, because yes, you can get away from all your own problems in the game and, you know, you are a different character, but then there's so much personality you can put into the game. You have to make decisions on what you want to do and what you're going to say, and yeah, you definitely put your own personality onto that character.
You see the ranger notice and then take his bow and raise it. And he's about to shoot Agnes in the back. What do you do?
Just in front of the arrow.
Can you give me a dexterity saving throw, please? The arrow hits you square in the chest as you just get in the way in the nick of time. You have taken the killing shot. You find that blood is pouring from you. What is the last thing that you say to your best friend?
Break up with him. Thank you.
You get inspiration for that.
Did you have fun?
I did have fun, and will continue to have fun. D&D is what I do for fun. It is a fantastic experience. It's what I do with my very best friends, and it's what I can also do with complete strangers. And it's something that brings us together through the shared power of storytelling. And I'm just really happy to be involved. And also really, really can't wait to watch the production.
I did have fun.
Yes, I had amazing fun.
Oh, this has been brilliant fun. Stressful, but still having a great time. Great time making it.
Yes, so much fun. It was so good.
Of course, 100%. There's no thing about it, 100%.
I did have fun, yes, thank you.
Oh, an inordinate amount of fun. It's really stressy. I'm very tired. I want to sleep.
Absolutely, I had fun.
To an extent. Are we talking D&D or a play?
Lower than a 10.
Yes.
5. Yes. Oh my god, and a critical on the other. Oh. Yes. A voice that says, "You wanted the Underrealm. It's yours." As they all sing in a choir of death, dragging him into the gateway. No! And suddenly there is a blast, and he is pulled backwards into the nothingness, and he is gone.
Yes!